All right, guys, how you doing? This is David Henderson back for another video lesson. Today we're going to work on some picking exercises, but we're going to use a song called Scatterbrain. And this is a very famous Jeff Beck song from the mid-70s from his masterpiece album called Blow by Blow, which was produced by the Beatles producer George Martin, and really set the rock world on fire because we were all rock players until this record came out. And then it was like, boom! Oh, you can do that. Mahavishnu Orchestra was going on at that time. And this is very, very much influenced from this particular song. I'm using it today as a picking exercise because it's in 9/8, and I like picking exercises in odd time signatures because it really forces you to think more. Like when the picking exercises are in 4/4, you tend to fall asleep and don't really focus. And you're much more effective when your brain is engaged in your practice. And what you're trying to do is build motor skills, repeatable motor skills. So let's have a listen to this tune. It's a really cool tune. I highly encourage you guys, and I'll put a link in the description of the original. Again, this is Jeff Beck in the 70s, so this is before all the whammy bar stuff was happening. I mean, just before it, maybe 2 albums before it, when he was actually using a pick. And this was actually his picking exercise. So this is Jeff Beck, mid-70s, with a pick, and Scatterbrain. This is what its song sounds like. And I'm in a program here called Guitar Pro. And I don't know if you're familiar with Guitar Pro. It's like a scoring program, lead sheet program. So let me just go over really quick what I've got up here. I've got Scatterbrain. I've got the melody here. And then on the next track, you can have multiple tracks here. So it's like it's like a score program. I got the bass part, just playing Fender bass on the bottom. And then down here, I've got the chord changes, and they're really cool chord changes. It starts with a B minor 7. You can see here it's got a fretboard that's going to follow us along, and then we jump up to B7 sharp 11, and then we jump up to D over C, and this is just like an upper structure triad, D over C. You could also think of it as D7 with the 7th C in the bass. And we're going to use this chord all over the place. This chord is going to go move up a whole step here when we hit here. Oh, hit the chords. Sorry, I'm hitting the wrong thing. When we hit this chord, all right, now it's E over D. Okay, and then G major 7. And then we're going to go G over F, and it's just going to come down in minor thirds. E over D, D flat over B flat, B flat over A flat, and then we're going to come back to B. Let's have a listen. Very cool tune. Check it out. Really cool. There you see the chords going by. Is that cool or what? Here's the lick going by now. And this is what's really cool about Guitar Pro is, it lets you layer these parts and jump around and see. Like you're a conductor, you've got all the parts right there on your score. And so this part here is octaves. He's bending up to the octave. He's bending this D up to E, and this coming down in all right, so once again we're in Guitar Pro, which lets us change the tempo here to 50%. We're going to turn it into a picking exercise. and just isolate the first measure. So the lick is basically what you're seeing on the screen right there, starting on the F. And let's let me change this camera angle a little bit so I can play. So the lick starts out here on the F, and it's and I'm just going to alternate pick. And I'm going to start, let me get this better. I'm going to start on a downstroke this time through. And the key is I'm trying to get my hand, this left hand, not like this. Trying to get my thumb back behind, and I'm trying to make my fingers. I mean, again, this is an exercise, a technique exercise. And the object of this technique exercise is to try to get your alternating picking going, as well as getting your left hand positioning. The key is here, you don't want your fingers flying around. I see some guitar players, their fingers come off like this. This is all super inefficient. You don't want this happening. So you want to try to get your thumb right behind here, where your first finger is, a little bit up. You can see that. I've got my thumb like that. And then I want to try to keep my fingers as close to the strings as possible. So we're starting here on an F on the 3rd fret. I really want to try to get that thumb under. I mean, I'm a guitar player that plays like this, so this is not my normal position. But again, it's a picking exercise, and I'm trying to improve my picking and then improve my finger positions, and I try to keep my fingers in control all the time, because you want to, what you're trying to get is efficiency here. So here we go. And the other thing is, as the tempo is going to change here, you want to relax. No tension here in your forearm, and no tension here either. You want to try to relax. It's hard. I don't do it. I can do it at the slow tempo, and as it speeds up, I start to tense up. But you got to try to, the odd time signature forces you to really concentrate, and then you're trying to think of all these things at the same time while you're practicing this. And believe me, it really pays off. After about a week of doing this, you'll see that it cleans up your left-hand technique enormously and really, really helps you with your alternating picking. One more thing about the picking is it has this, you've heard of this concept of inside picking and outside picking, and it has to do with when you change strings. So we're going to change, we're here on the 3rd string. Or what, maybe this is the 4th string. We're counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're on the 3rd fret F. And now we're going to go and change strings. When we change strings, we're doing what's called outside picking. So I went down, and then I'm going to change strings. I'm going to go up. I'm picking on the outsides here. Down and then up on the next string. So I'm outside. The hardest part of the lick is that change. You don't want your right hand bouncing up and down like this. You want to try to keep your right hand as even as possible. Right? my picking, I'm never happy with my picking, so I'm not like a super alternating picking person, but this really helps me clean up my technique, and it does it really fast too, and it's a lot of fun too, because when you get down to Guitar Center and you're hanging out checking out amps and stuff, you rip out this tune you love. Everybody going, what is that? What is that? You play the chords and you play that lick. Anyway, okay, let's try the whole form now. Select and wish me luck. Let me give it a shot. Relax. Get those in tune. Relax. So there you go. We got up to 110. And once it hits around 90, I start tensing up. But that's the idea. Now, okay, we talked about this inside and outside picking thing. The next step is to do it starting with an upstroke instead of a downstroke. So now we're going to be going. we're going to be inside picking because we're going to go upstroke here on the 4th string, and on the 3rd string we're going to downstroke. So we're inside the strings. So I'm going to put this on 50, give myself a break. I'm just going to select the first bar this time. Excuse me. There we go. So let's start up. Let's do our changing tempo one again, but what we're going to do is we'll start it faster. And I'm definitely much slower starting on an upstroke than I am starting on a downstroke. Again, it's trying to get your picking together here, upstrokes, downstrokes, all this stuff, so that when you're improvising, it doesn't matter what happens. You're ready to rock and roll. Your pick is ready, you practiced. It doesn't matter if it's starting on an upstroke or a downstroke. You are ready to rock and roll. All right. I screw it up there at the end. Anyway, so you get the idea how this can be just an incredible exercise to really get your picking together. Again, we're in an odd time signature, making your brain focus. We're trying to keep our hand as in perfect physical, technique position as we can. Our thumb is back behind. We're not playing like this. We're playing like this. Trying to relax. Trying not to move your fingers as much. Trying to keep your right hand from bouncing and jumping all over the place. Have it the least amount of movement. So there's a lot of brain going into this exercise. You're not just practicing something, watching TV. You have to really, 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 really focus on all these things happening at once. So that's Scatterbrained. Unbelievably great tune. An unbelievably fun technical exercise. It's also a really fun progression to improvise over. And I've got a video up on my site here of me playing the intro to it, which is in 4/4. It's a much slower tempo, but you get to improvise over those beautiful, beautiful chord changes. So check that out. I'll put a link in the description there. I want to remind you once again, my name is David Henderson. This is my channel. I'm trying to do some lessons up here on things that I'm into, jazz fusion and harmony and simplifying harmony. So I invite you to subscribe to the channel. I invite you, there's a Patreon where I'll put all these files. I'll put a PDF of the Scatterbrain as well as a guitar profile, so you can download it. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to create another video right after this one that will be the Scatterbrain exercise. And all you have to do is just turn that video on. It will go from 50 up to 120 BPM and probably repeat. And so you can use that if you don't want to you don't have Guitar Pro or you don't want to go to Patreon and download the file, you'll be able to do it right from my site. And again, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy this kind of geeky stuff. And we'll see you in the next video. So everybody have a great day. Thank you. Later.